As the chilling night descended upon the small American town of Peaktown, a sense of unease settled in the air. Little Tim, haunted by a decade-old nightmare, ran down an empty street. The dimly lit road cast eerie shadows, and the faint rustling of leaves added to the ominous atmosphere. Behind him, a sinister figure emerged, its presence emanating malevolence. Its head, a grotesque jack-o'-lantern, seemed to flicker with an otherworldly fire. It pursued Tim relentlessly and unstoppable. Panicked and breathless, Tim dashed into a dead-end alley, his heart pounding in his chest. The walls of the alley seemed to close in on him, and the sinister figure inched closer. Tim was trapped, with no escape in sight. Tim's eyes snapped open. He found himself in his bed, soaked in cold sweat. The nightmare had been vivid and terrifying. It was the morning of October 31st, 1985, in Peaktown, South Carolina. That day, Tim and his best friend Bruce set out on their annual Halloween adventure. As they walked through the streets of their small town, Bruce couldn't help but express concern. "It must be hard for you this time of year," he said. Tim nodded solemnly. "It is, but I plan to find that thing." Bruce regarded his friend with a mixture of empathy and worry. "Do you really think he'll show up again? It's been 10 years since the last time." "Bruce, that thing took my brother," Tim replied with determination. "I'm going to find him no matter what it takes." Bruce could only sigh, unable to dissuade his determined friend. "And what will you do when you find it?" Tim remained silent, his focus unwavering. As night fell, the two friends traversed the town's festive streets. People in costumes roamed about, and the spirit of Halloween was palpable. Suddenly, a distant light caught Tim's attention. "There! It's him!" And he and Bruce rushed toward the mysterious glow. But when they reached the source of the light, they were met with disappointment. It was just a child in a costume. Their hope dwindled as they left the scene and walked down a desolate, dimly lit street on their way back home. "Hey, Tim," Bruce spoke gently. "I think you should move on. Seriously, we've been at this for 5 years and it never shows up. I don't want to see you sad. I really think you should move on with your life. It's what your brother would have wanted, don't you think?" Tim nodded sheepishly, the weight of his obsession finally sinking in. The two friends embraced. "I'm sorry I messed up your Halloween night again, Bruce." Bruce reassured him. "It's okay. That's what friends are for." Finally reaching Tim's house, the two friends exchanged a few more words before parting ways. "I thought this year would be different, that I would find it," Tim mumbled. "But I guess I was wrong."
"You're not wrong, Tim. Brighten that face, Tim. Tonight, you're finally going to be reunited with your brother."
The town of Peaktown would never hear from Tim and Bruce again. Extensive searches and investigations yielded no clues. Whispers circulated among the townspeople, who would never openly admit it. On Halloween nights, the malevolent demon still roamed the streets, taking the form of Jack-o'-lantern, forever searching for unsuspecting children to claim. This is the channel you've been screaming for. Subscribe.